Hello everyone! Welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Jessie Lee, coming at you with Flosstube video number 4. If you would like to skip ahead to the cross-stitch content of this video, please go to this time right up here. But please, first let me just warn you that I don't have a whole lot of cross-stitch stuff to talk about this time, so I apologize for that. For those of you who aren't skipping ahead, I'm sure you've noticed that I have a little friend with me today. She is the reason that I didn't get a whole lot of cross-stitching done over the past 2 weeks. So I thought I would bring her along to this video and explain what's been going on. This is my bearded dragon, Calcifer. And I do get a lot of questions about her name, and it surprises me that more people aren't familiar with her namesake. Calcifer is a scary and powerful fire demon, voiced by the precious gem Billy Crystal in the English version of the animated movie Howl's Moving Castle by Hayao Miyazaki in Studio Ghibli. Now, if you have never seen a Miyazaki movie before, well, as Calcifer would say, may all your bacon burn. Anyway, Calcifer is just a really cute and interesting character, and I just thought it would be appropriate to name a desert creature after a fire demon. My Calcifer here has a ton of spark and charisma, at least for a lizard. Unfortunately, you're not getting to see how lively she truly is because it's past her bedtime. She actually goes into her little corner to lay down like clockwork every day at around 7 p.m. and just falls asleep. And it's really cute. And I actually had to wake her up to come be in this video with me. So she is just not at her best right now, but she's holding really still, and it kind of makes it easier for me to make a video with her, I guess. So anyway, Calcifer was actually a birthday present for me last year. My birthday's in October, and at the time, I guess I was just feeling that it was sort of poignant that both of my kids had recently started kindergarten. So when my husband asked me what I wanted for my birthday, I told him, "Give me a baby." Now, I did not want to be knocked up. No, that's not what I was asking for. What I was hoping for was just something tiny and adorable and cuddly that I could take care of, and I could live with it if that tiny baby was a stuffed animal, but I was really wishing for, a little bunny or a guinea pig or a little baby kitten, and my husband delivered. He got me a baby lizard. When we first brought Calcifer home, she was an itty-bitty little lizard. She was only 7.5 inches from the tip of her nose to the tip of her tail. And as you can see, she's not itty-bitty anymore. She's now 18 inches long, and she has been steadily outgrowing the starter tank that we've had for her. Back in January, we bought her a gigantic lizard mansion. It's a really nice 120-gallon vivarium that's designed to look like a nice piece of furniture. And since we bought it back in January, I have been trying to figure out how I wanted to design the inside and acquiring the materials to make it just perfect for her because she deserves best. And about 2 weeks ago, Calcifer had a major poo incident. Basically, her tank had gotten a bit too small for her to get enough distance between herself and her poo pile, and she made a great big mess of herself one day. And as I was giving her a bath and scrubbing her off with a toothbrush, I knew it was apparent that it was just time to move her in her lizard mansion as soon as possible. So I've basically spent all my time since my last Flosstube video getting it ready for her, and that took hours upon hours of work, believe it or not. So Calcifer and I apologize that the stitchy segment of this video will be a bit short, but she is feeling very happy in her new home, and we'd like to give you a little tour of it since it took so much work. The lizard mansion is actually located right here in this room, right over there. And after I talk about cross-stitch stuff, I thought I could show it to you because I've been working so hard on it. And also to fill up a little time in this video, I thought I could just give you a tour of this room too, because this is my craft room where I do my cross-stitching, and I have a whole bunch of really cute stuff in here that you don't get to see just in the background of my videos. So I am going to say night-night to Calcifer for now and put her back to bed in her lizard mansion. All right, on to the stitching part of our program. And as usual, we have Sabrina gracing us with her presence back there. Let me begin with the best part, and that is announcing the winner of the giveaway. In my last video that I posted about 2 weeks ago, I announced that I would like to give away these two 1988 issues of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. And I was very nervous to be doing a giveaway in just my third Flosstube video, but I really wanted to spread my friend Susan's stitchy kindness. And I was so happy that 6 of you did enter. And 6 was a totally reasonable number of names for me to actually physically write down onto little pieces of paper and throw into a bowl. And my son Glenn enjoyed the honor of drawing the winner. And that winner is Wendy Thorpe. So congratulations, Wendy. You are going to get these two vintage cross-stitch magazines. I really hope you enjoy them. There's so many cute patterns in there. I will leave a comment on your comment in the previous video where you entered, and I will give you contact information so you can please get in touch with me and give me your mailing address so I can get these sweet little magazines to you. Congratulations. Next, I have a bit of haul to show you, and I am going to go from smallest to largest. How about that? Starting with this needle minder. This is only the 3rd needle minder that I own as of now. And I had to buy myself this one because it's a kitty, of course. This kitty cat appealed to me because she has sort of a classic look to her. And also she looks really grumpy, which I just thought was so perfect because don't all cats have a bit of RBF going on? I love her. She's made out of wood. I think she's super nice, and I got her from an Etsy shop called Otterly in X Stitches. Now, when I ordered this needle minder, I failed to notice that Otterly in X Stitches is based in Sweden. Had I noticed that, I wouldn't have made this kitty travel so far all by her lonesome, but that's all right. The seller was super sweet to me and sent her in this envelope that she decorated with some kitty washi tape, which I thought was just really sweet. And another thing that I thought was super cool coming from Sweden are the postage stamps. I hope it'll focus without me having to uncover my address down there. There they are. Look, they have a lynx and an Arctic fox on their stamps in Sweden. Isn't that cool? Then I went ahead and kitted up the Quaker Sampler that I'm so excited to get started on. And let me show you that sampler again. It is Quaker Peace by Remembering Bygone Stitches. And I apologize for having to show you the cover of it on my tablet again, but we still don't have any printer paper in this house. Anyway, I am so proud of my choice of fabric and floss for this because it is very sophisticated for me. Okay, you guys, I am attracted to pastels. I am attracted to bright rainbow colors. I have childish taste most of the time, okay? And I tried really hard to get something that would suit this traditional pattern, but still be something that would be fun and appealing to me. And I think I got it, and I'm so excited, but maybe some of you will laugh at this. I don't know. Anyway, let me start with the fabric, okay? That's a little simpler. It is this, and it's the middle of the night, and my lighting in this room is horrible, so you're not going to get to really see the true color and beauty of this fabric. But this is 36 count fabric flare even weave in historic beige, and it is sort of a lightly mottled stone color. I think it's really pretty. It's just a nice sort of light, cool tone beige. But what I'm most excited about is this beautiful embroidery floss I found. And I bought way more than I actually need, and I'm keeping most of it safe in the baggie. I'm just going to show you 3 skeins, and here they are. It is beautiful pastel colors like I love, but they are a bit muted, which I think will just be really, really lovely and a bit more sophisticated for this more traditional sampler, but fun for me to stitch. And look at how lovely these are against that pretty bone color. I am just so excited for this. Since these are so variegated with so much color, I chose to just stitch the entire piece in this floss instead of 2 different colors like the pattern calls for. And this is Threadworks 1078. And I bought this from Ancora Crafts on Etsy. And Threadworks embroidery floss is not hard to access. Tons of needlework shops sell this brand of embroidery floss, but I chose to buy it from Ancora Crafts because some of the sale images that they have on their site, they have copyrighted. So I assume that they stitched up and took the pictures themselves of these beautiful stitched up swatches of many of their variegated flosses. Actually seeing the variegated floss stitched into a little motif really, really helped me make a decision as to what colors I wanted to pick out, and really helped me visualize how this would really look when I use it. And I just found that so helpful and valuable. So since somebody in their company made the effort to actually stitch those swatches and take nice photographs, I wanted to honor that by buying from them. So I really encourage you to go check out Ancora Crafts. They really have a beautiful selection of floss. And yeah, that's a great Etsy shop. Go check them out. The biggest bit of haul that I have that I'm super excited about is a new scroll frame. This is a step up for me, you guys, because I have only ever stitched in a hoop. But my spring cat sampler is too big to all fit in a hoop. And I just knew that moving a hoop across the piece would just be too risky, because I really prefer to backstitch as I go along. And I did not want to be crunching any of those pretty long stitches in a hoop. And I could try a Q-snap, but they really just don't appeal to me. I know y'all love them, and I have watched and read so much about why you love them and how you use them. But in my gut, I just feel like they're not for me. So I went searching for a scroll frame to keep my spring cat sampler safe while I stitch. And I think I found the perfect one. It is a nice, simple one for a beginner. And I actually got it from an Etsy shop that's based in Russia. When I'm poking around online, Russian needlework shops often end up standing out to me because the whole cross-stitch realm over in Russia is like really hopping. Anyway, it took about 3.5 weeks for me to get my scroll frame all the way from Russia, which is pretty cool. And let me actually show it to you, duh. This is my new toy. This is sort of a nice, simple scroll frame with cute little legs, so you can put it on your desk or tabletop or even your lap. And it's a pretty simple one. It was pretty affordable. It's lightweight, but it functions just fine. My fabric fits in there nice and securely, and the wing nuts get nice and tight so nothing really jiggles around or collapses on me. And I really like it. But a part that I also really appreciate about it, even though it was simple and affordable, is the pretty design. I just love the little carvings on the side. So not only is it functional, it looks nice too. So I really kind of enjoy having it out on my desk all the time. That's it for haul, but I also have a goofy little invention I made to show you, and it started with these lip balms. These are my very favorite lip balms aside from Burt's Bees, and they are for adults, I swear. They come from France and they are sold at Ulta. And aside from their most adorable packaging, they also have a very lovely, effective formula. The brand, in case you're curious, is this. When I read that out loud, I say Inuit. And when I say that out loud, I end up thinking of the indigenous peoples of the Arctic. Anyway, so it started with these lip balm containers. The lip balms are great, so I completely emptied these and cleaned out the containers and kept them because they are just so cute. And I came up with something to do with them. Inside, I glued one of my daughter's Pom Poms and turned it into a little needle keeper. Isn't that great? I have one for my size 26s and one for my size 28s. And I think I am a freaking genius. And the last thing I have to share for this relatively short bit of cross-stitch content I have for you this week is my progress on my whips. I actually worked on 2 cross-stitch pieces this week, but I am only showing you one because the other is a surprise that I am stitching for somebody that watches my channel. So, the whip that I'm going to show you is my Temperature Garden. This is by Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy. And here's mine so far. Almost at the end of March, you guys. Can you believe it? I feel like this year's going by so fast. And it is getting warm now pretty quickly. My leaves, or petals I mean, are all cut up. And I even did my future self a favor and stitched in the last stem and flower center for March. So that's exciting to see come to life. All right, if you need to move along to the next Flosstube video and you're not going to join me on my craft room tour, I would like to say thank you for watching. And before you go, I would like to share the motto of my grandma, who inspired me both in stitching and in life. God loves you, and I love you. Happy stitching. Roll up for the magical mystery tour. Welcome to my craft room, or rather the door to my craft room. This is awkward, but I'm in the stairwell and my stairs are very narrow, so I can't get the entire door in frame. But anyway, here is the cute spool wreath on the front of my door, and I think it's perfect to welcome you into my craft room, even though I keep the door locked most of the time. But welcome, let's go inside. And this is it. As you can see, I got a slanty ceiling on one side because we have a pretty pitched roof on our house. And there's a lot of wood paneling in here. Luckily, it's at least real knotty pine paneling and not the ugly MDF stuff from the 80s. But this is sort of a little sweep of what this room looks like. I think I'm lightening up the wood paneling with some of my cutesy stuff that I have in here. Anyway, where should I begin? I think I'll come this way. Sorry, I hope I don't make you dizzy. I'm going to try really hard. Back up a bit. Over on this wall, I keep my ironing board and some drawers, and down there's a little rug that didn't work out for another space in my house, but it's in here now, and Sabrina loves to lay on it. Anyway, in this set of kitty cat drawers are a bunch of very basic, sort of kid-friendly craft supplies, like pads of scrapbook paper and pom-poms and googly eyes and crayons and glue sticks and glitter and things that my children love to come in here and rob from the drawers. So the drawers are an absolute mess, and I'm not going to show you the insides. Up here, I love this wall mount for my ironing board. I think it is super duper cute, and I got it as a Christmas present from Mary, my mother-in-law. I actually have a story about my iron, but who wants to hear a story about an iron? Okay, I'll tell it to you really quick, just because it's a testament to how sentimental I am. Oh my God. When I went away to college, I bought a cheap green iron, and it turned out to be the best iron ever. It lasted me for 13 and a half years, and I am someone who likes to have unwrinkled clothes, and I am a sewer, so I iron a lot of fabric. And that basic ass green little iron from Target just did the trick and served me so well for such a long time, but it did eventually need to be replaced. And I searched and happened to find its clone. That pink iron right there is the exact same iron, except it's straight from Japan. The little dial with the temperature settings on it doesn't have numbers. Instead, it has kanji on it, but it plugs into the outlet and works perfectly fine. And I love it so much. And I'm happy that I have my same iron that I've had my entire adulthood, basically, still in my life. Anyway, here's something more interesting than a dang iron. This is a diamond painting that I did. It was just a cute, easy one. Very sparkly, little kitten, kind of a basic image that I think the majority of people have seen before, but I enjoy it, and the colors go in here pretty well. And now here's something you will be interested in. This is my main embroidery floss storage. This is just a set of paper storage drawers for your desk, and inside I used these plastic drawer dividers that you can cut with scissors, and I fashioned them to compartmentalize these paper drawers for my floss. And I have a full set of CXC floss, which is a cheap Chinese equivalent to DMC. It is all numbered the same, and the colors are quite similar. And I would love to tell you more about CXC because I actually think it's great. I think you get way more than you pay for, and it is a great way to jumpstart your stash if you were a beginner. So I do have a full set, but quite a few of the bobbins are not in these drawers because they are over with my current whips. So anyway, but it is so satisfying to look at them all in there. And, the way I chose to bobbinate them is, well, okay, I got these bobbins that are the translucent plastic. They're kind of frosty looking, and I think they just look a little more fancy. And then I wrote the floss numbers on stickers, and these stickers are all hollow. I don't know, they just make me happy to look at. I was like, if I'm going to store all this stuff, I am going to make it look really cool. Anyway, that's what's over in this little area over here. And on this side is my closet full of adult craft stuff that I don't let my kids get into so much. And because of that, it is not a mess, although it does look cluttered in here, because I don't really have containers to put the stuff in before I put it on the shelves. I actually only recently got these shelves. Before I had everything in some cheap plastic drawers that were really hard for me to get into and to look at everything that I had. So we got the cute pink shelves over here. And this is my stash of stuff down here. I have some old scrapbooking things from my kids' baby books, which still aren't complete, even though my children are 5 and 7 years old, but oh well. A couple of wreaths for the seasons. This is a big stash of Indian corn right there. I had to buy it in bulk in order to get a few that I liked to put on my fall wreath. I have some decorative hole punches there. This is some supplies for my plant buddies. I have a small plant collection. I really love succulents. I have a literal bag of dirt in this closet. Great. And then as we go up, we get to the more interesting things that I use the most often. This is my stash of fabric, and it's not very big, and I have specific projects in mind to use that for, and I will use it up soon. This is my yarn stash. All of my yarn that I own lives in that bag. I got a lot of knitting needles. Over here is my stash of diamond painting stuff, and there's one paint by number in there too. And then up here, this is basic things that I use all the time, mostly glue. Crayola Super Tips are great markers. I have 100 set just for myself that I don't let my kids touch. Back in this corner, I have some extra embroidery hoops hanging up and a couple of my projects that I bring out with the seasons. And over here is my cross-stitch stuff. This little pile right here is a little bit of fabric and a few printed charts. And that is a tripod that I put my phone on when I film my Flosstube videos. That is a little kitty task light that is rechargeable, and he works great when I need extra light sometimes. And some more rolls of fabric. And up here on the top, I have some keepsakes from my childhood. Oh my goodness, how sentimental am I? I think you're gonna find out as we go through this room together. Moving along, we have my desk area. Okay, my desk is 2 tables scooched together. They are from IKEA, and my chair is from IKEA as well. And I attempted to personalize it a little bit with that blue seating pad that has kitty cats on it. I started out with one of these tables in the apartment we moved into when we first came to Minnesota, and then we moved into this house and I got myself a second table. And for a while I was kicking myself for not getting a third table before they discontinued them, but it worked out for the best because that area over there turned out to be the perfect spot for the lizard mansion. Let me show you what I got around on my desk. I guess we'll start on this side because it's a bit more stitchy. There is my scroll frame with my spring cat sampler on it. I have these really cute charging cords right here. It's a triple cord, and it's got these cute little pluggies on it. Might as well have the mundane things be cute, right? I found that on AliExpress. There is my aloe friend, and here is my fishy friend, Bazooka. Where is he? I promise you he's alive. It's just 3 a.m. I am quite aware that a bowl is not an ideal place to keep a betta fish, but I am an experienced fish keeper and I care deeply for his well-being. This was a starter home that I had him in for about 2 months, and then I moved him into a very nice 10-gallon aquarium. And he stayed there for a couple months and never seemed happy. He didn't eat as much. He wasn't as active. He just didn't seem like a content fishy. So I actually moved him back into this bowl, and he just has ever since been so much happier, more active, eating well. I work very hard to keep the ecosystem inside of the bowl perfect. And he is a healthy fish who just happens to prefer a smaller space for some reason. Like I said, I'm an experienced fish keeper. I kept goldfish for 10 years. I had 2 fish living in a 40-gallon tank, and they lived to be 8.5 and 9.5 years old. Their names were Peachy and Toasty, and I adored them. So please know that I do care deeply for my fish's well-being, and please don't feel upset if you feel that a gumball bowl is not the right place for him to live. Anyways, between my aloe friend and my fish friend, I have this box right here that I covered in washi tape to use as a weight for their light, which helps keep them alive. And on here is my grid rack that I've shown you before, where I hang my whips. And don't look at the green one in the middle because it's a secret, okay? Up here I have a wall shelf that I bought from Goodwill and painted pink and roughed up a bit to antique it, sorta. And on here I have a set of basic acrylic paint, and that Totoro is actually a charging brick for my phone. I adore Totoro. Some fish food, and the paints for a paint by number that I got as a present for my mom that I have been working on, and my set of Pom Pom makers. Then right here is a piece of art. It's a print that I bought from an Instagram artist, and it says, "Other girls, me." I just think it's hilarious. I think it fits me a bit, and I really adore possums. They're basically my favorite animal. I love possums. They're good creatures. They're just gentle, passive little nature helpers, and the mama possums are really excellent mamas, and they're interesting, being North America's only marsupial, and I love them ever so much. And this print just spoke to me. It makes me smile, so it hangs here by my desk. Here are some cafe curtains that I sewed myself, made out of this very cute kitty cat fabric, and behind them I have a dark window with my reflection. That's embarrassing. Don't look at me. And I have these little shelves for plants that I jimmied out of shower shelves with the tension rod. And down here are wooden possums that my kids painted for me. And up here I have my string of turtles, which is doing pretty well. And onto this side of my desk, I have my sewing box and my sewing machine and my Bluetooth headphones. This is my sewing machine. It is let's get it uncovered here. This is an Eversewn Charlotte. Eversewn is a sister brand of Bernina, and they are super duper cool, wonderful, great machines. And the Charlotte is sort of their entry-level model, and it just serves my purposes perfectly. And up here on the upper part of my hutch, I just got some basic stuff. I got writing utensils, paintbrushes. I got a candle from my favorite Etsy shop, which closed. It was a casualty of 2020, and I'm so sad. The owner of the shop has a son who has autism, and her shop in part helped her be a stay-at-home mom to him. And behind here I have a set of matches that I use to light the candle. It has my favorite flower on one side and a creepy looking cat on the other. And these are kind of fancy matches. They are, wrong side. They are pink to match the box. And the brand of this matchbox is Home Art. They have a bunch of different designs of fancy matchboxes with matching matches. Like this, matching matches. Anyway, and I just think these make great gifts, like hostess or host gifts. So yeah, keep these in mind. I recommend them. And I have my favorite lip balms right here. Those are actual lip balms, not more needle keepers. I keep them out because I use a lot of lip balm, and also they're just plain cute. And right here, these spoons. This is a spoon that I got from my best friend. It says, "Soul Sister, have a cup of kindred spirit." And it's just sweet to me, and it's too precious for me to actually use in like tea or coffee. But I love it, so I keep it in here to look at it and think of my bestie, Jessica. Here I am old-fashioned. I have an address book, and I have thank you cards, because I am old school and I care about writing thank yous for stuff. I truly, truly do, and I'm passing that habit along to my kids. Here's some little notebooks that I use for writing lists and stuff. Flosstube content. They're Keroppi. Keroppi is my favorite Sanrio character. In case you wanted to know, I don't know what that says about me. Maybe it just says that I was born, late 80s and had my childhood in the early 90s. This is a card that I bought for my husband because when I saw it in the store, I just thought it was so sweet, and I bought it just because, and I gave it to him, and when he opened it and saw the front of it, he said, "Oh, awesome, humping turtles." Up above my hutch, I am storing / displaying my hoop collection. A few of them aren't hanging up right now, so it doesn't look totally complete, but that's because I actually use them. And the round ones are sort of cheap, but they work really good. They hold my fabric like a vice, and in doing so, they often do damage. So I'm very mindful about what projects I use them on, and I always make sure that it will be finished into something that is the same size as the hoop I'm working in or smaller, so I don't have to worry about those hoop rings that you get. And then the rectangle ones are super wimpy and don't give good tension at all and really don't do much damage to my cross stitches. So I kind of like using those. I'm really not too picky about the tension of my pieces when I'm working in a hoop. Anyway, I'm happy to have my scroll frame now. Maybe that will be a big change. Down here is the lizard mansion. Dun, 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 dun. Like I said, it is the middle of the night and Calcifer is currently sleeping. And since I'm a night owl, I don't want to bother her by having the lights on. So I cover up her front doors with this quilt top. This is actually the first quilt that I ever made. I did this when I was about, 22, 23 years old. I took a quilting class with my mom. and pieced this quilt top together. Anyway, this quilt top just never got made into a quilt for whatever reason, but it's coming in handy now as a night-night curtain for Calcifer. So this is what it looks like at night, and I will record a clip during the day to give you the grand tour of the Lizard Mansion. Daytime Justine and Calcifer here. This is the full view of what the Lizard Mansion looks like. Calcifer's food bowl's missing right now. It's downstairs in the kitchen sink, but that is not important. As you can see, I chose to tile most of the inside of the mansion. And then I built her this hexagon landscape out of wooden boxes that I glued together and then covered in tile and grout and sealed up with a water-based polyurethane. My idea to make her lizard landscape in this way came from BB Beasties here on YouTube. They have made more organic looking reptile furniture with a foam base, but the method of covering a structure in grout to make it seem like rocks and then sealing it all over with water-based polyurethane, and also just the assurance that these materials are all safe for a beardy and that they work. That all came from their videos. And now I will scooch in and show you the tiling job I did a little closer because I'm pretty proud of it and it took a ton of work. Ugh. Anyway, the Pebble Tiles all came in sheets, but the little leaves and flowers I placed individually. And grout was not very easy to work with. It is just sort of the worst kind of clay ever. It didn't really like to stick to itself or to the wood, and it just took some fuss. But once I got it on there and smoothed it out and got it dry, it is very sturdy and nice, and I think it feels pretty natural to Calcifer. She really enjoys this structure. It works out perfectly because at the very top, she has her main hotspot, and then each platform going down provides her with a different temperature to choose from to bask on. And also, she really likes to explore the little nooks and crannies around the perimeter of the structure. It just gives her lots of little hiding places. But her main hiding spot is this little tent that I have in the corner. In her previous starter tank, she had a little teepee that I sewed for her and made totally by hand, and she loved it. She loved to hide inside of it, and she also loved to climb on top of it, but she had gotten too big for it and was constantly knocking it down. But I knew she needed a tent of some sort in her new home to make her feel comfy, and I found this bird tent. It came with a carabiner on the top to hang inside a bird cage, but I knew it was pet safe because birds tear up things and are way more violent with their belongings than a lizard is. So I knew this would be a safe thing to put in her environment. And she really likes it. She hangs out inside, she climbs up on top of it, and it doesn't collapse or tip over on her at all. And also there is a size up of this exact same tent. So as she gets bigger, I can get her a new one that's more appropriate for her. She actually chooses to sleep at night in that corner behind the tent, which is kind of funny. There's a cushion inside. You'd think that she would find inside the tent more comfy, but I don't know. That's her choice. So this is Calcifer's mansion, and it's been working out great, and it took a lot of work, but it was totally worth it. So yeah, that is what the project was that I've been busting my butt on for the past 2 weeks. Oh, and here's a bonus shot of Bazooka looking alive. And then kitty corner from Calcifer's mansion are my cat curtains. Oh, fuck. No pun intended with kitty corner. Shit. Sorry. Oh, I'm swearing. Oh, it's the middle of the night. Okay. Give me a break. I am tired of talking. All right. Anyway, this is Calcifer's favorite window. Probably my favorite window too. She likes to come and bask in the sunshine, and I also have my plant babies basking in the sun over here too. And you can see tucked in there are my little Kodama friends. If you've seen the movie Princess Mononoke, you would recognize them. And here I have my rug because I am too old to be on my knees on the bare wood floor every day feeding that lizard. So this is a recent acquisition to sort of save my bod. And over here is a less recent acquisition to save my bod, my exercise bike. And it wasn't intentional, but it does also sort of match my room, doesn't it? I hop on this bike every day for about 30 minutes while my husband drives my kids to school in the morning, and I use it more in the wintertime when it's just harder to get outside and go for walks. I am a plus size lady, but that doesn't mean that I'm sitting on my ass all the time. Anyway, over here is just more cutesy stuff that makes me smile. I got a Maneki Neko, Hello Kitty, and Pusheen, and a LED light that scrolls colors and makes me feel chill. I got some squishies from back when squishies were a big fad. I think the corn squishy is my favorite, and I fully intend to get a tattoo on my arm based on that corn to remind me of my home state of Nebraska. A little lower, I have Vesta, my cute rainbow, very soft possum plushie. And this is a headphone headband that I knitted. Let me show it to you. Shake it out a little bit. It has sleep phones inside, which are flat headphones that you can lay on, and they fit inside this headband that I knitted. It has a rainbow patch on the front, and I knitted this sort of teardrop pattern in it that reminds me of rain, and then the lining fabric is these rainbow raindrops. So I keep these here because I listen to music while I ride my bike, and it just stays on my head better than my clunky Bluetooth headphones does. And also, they're kind of close to my bed, so if I want to chill, well, it's not my bed, it's the guest bed, but sometimes I lay down here and chill with some ASMR with my sleep phones on. And then, oh, sorry, I hope I'm not making you motion sick. On the very bottom shelf is some empty jars left over from candles that I burned, and some drills left over from past diamond paintings. And this is a little collection of some gemstone hearts, just regular semi-precious stones. I don't think they have magic powers or anything. I just collect them because they're pretty, and all of the ones I have are heart-shaped specifically. So I just very occasionally collect those for fun. I don't seek them out on the reg at all. All right, behind my exercise bike hang my Bayou Cat and 2020 Temperature Tree cross stitches. You may remember them from the backgrounds of my videos. And moving around this way is the day bed, and maybe you have caught my continuity error. I took a quick pause to tuck the quilt in all the way so the bed looks as nice as possible while I briefly talk about it. This is the guest bed, or my lounging bed, and underneath there is a trundle with a mattress so we can have more than one guest stay with us at a time. My two sisters-in-law have come up to Minnesota to visit us a couple of times, and they've told me that the beds worked out great for them. And above the bed is this little built-in shelf area, and oh boy, we are going to get into the sentimental stuff, but let's start with the easy shelf. Get on the bed here and not fall over. Whoa. Okay, we have a wax warmer because I just love the yummy smelling things in here. We have my Let's Stay Home Be Well and Stitch cross stitch piece. And here is my kitty cat teapot and salt and pepper shakers that I have on display, but I do actually fill the teapot with water and then come up here and water my plants with it. And above that is some more cross-stitch pieces I did. I've spoken about them before. And behind them is this old little sewing box that belonged to my grandma. And it is very special to me. And inside of it, I keep my small collection of DMC floss that I collected before I got my full set of CXC. So that's my grandma's sewing box. And then this is my grandma's button box. I will show it to you because it's pretty amazing. It's full of vintage buttons. Ooh, let me open it really quick. Okay, got it. This is the inside of the box, and it's not just buttons, it's also little randos, because she legit used this box, you guys. Like these picture hangers, I could take them out of here, but I never will because my grandma put them in there. So I'm just going to save it and preserve it just how it was forever and ever. But lots of very old buttons. Very old school. Some tiny little candle. What is all this? Lots of buttons. Here's the more interesting thing. Ooh, Pom Poms. Wow. Never going to use them. Just going to live in the box. Very teeny crochet hook. I need to learn how to crochet. That is definitely high on my to-do list. And then all of these are very interesting, very old looking buttons. Oh, my grandma was a den mother. That's probably where this number 3 originated. Anyway, that's my grandma's button box. And I just keep it and keep everything inside of it as she left it. And it's just very special to me. All right, button box is put away and we're moving along on my grandma shelf. This is a clipping that my grandma sent me in the mail when I was about 7.5, 8 years old. And it's just special to me. I kept it and it's in a frame here in my room now. And it says, for Justine's memory bag to use on a sad day. Remember, Gilly Illy. That is, God loves you, I love you. Love always, Graham. This is just a sweet poem. It does cheer me up. It encapsulates my grandma's optimistic energy and her strong religious beliefs. I grew up in the Christian faith, and I still love Jesus very much. It's just as an adult, my beliefs have expanded, and I am a pantheist now, but I appreciate Christianity, and I had a really wonderful experience growing up in the Christian church, and I really respect my grandma's and also my mother's beliefs, and this poem means a lot to me. And it also means a lot to me because she gave it to me when I was in a period of my life where I was feeling sad. Moving from Illinois, where I lived with my grandma and my mother in my grandma's house until I was 7 years old. And then we moved to Omaha, just my mom and me, and then her boyfriend, who is now my stepdad. They got married when I was 13. He eventually joined us out in Omaha, and I just want to say, I guess, that the years up until I was 7 and we moved away were the very best years of my entire life, and things changed a lot when we moved to Nebraska. It was not all terrible. I did not have a terrible childhood, but it was a lot different and quite a bit tougher in many ways when I wasn't living with my grandma anymore. So anyway, she was trying to encourage me to keep going in life and get used to moving forward without her being, like basically a parent of mine and a primary caregiver every day. And I don't know, it's just a reminder of her. Anyway, I'm getting too deep. Let's move on. This is a piano phone. Let me bring it a little closer for you. This also belonged to my grandma. She was a piano player. All of us grandkids used to mess around with this phone, and it's a real working phone for a landline still to this day. This is the part you talk into, and the number buttons actually play notes in a horrible electronic tone, and it's still working. It's a very old phone. This phone's very special. My grandma used it every dang day, and like I said, all of us grandkids enjoyed messing around with it, and I ended up inheriting it, and I just keep it up on the shelf and admire it and have memories of my grandma. Okay, the piano phone is back in its spot, so let's move to the top shelf. where I have my most select books over in the very corner there. I got plenty more books elsewhere in the house. These are just the ones that I like to keep in here. And next to it, I have a few decks of tarot cards. You can tell how seriously I take tarot, considering 3 out of the 4 decks are cat themed. I just find it entertaining, and I enjoy how different artists come up with interesting imagery and symbols in different tarot decks. There are so many. And then here is my knitting Bible and a few other very key craft books I got, as well as the wonderful treasured collection I have of the vintage cross-stitch mags that I got from Susan in California. I put them up here because I will actually see them out in the room, which will make me more likely to pick them up and stitch out of them. I do apologize, this shelf is so dusty. That doesn't mean I don't care about these things. It just means that I am only 5 feet tall and don't get up here too often. Here are some cute little ceramic buggies that I just never got around to painting. So they live up here to fill up the space. And let me bring my arm down and we will go to the last little area of the room. Almost done, guys. Alrighty, coming upon this final little section of my room over here. Thank goodness, because I have a fried brain. I am getting sick of talking and I am just starting to lose words. Anyway, here is the final thing I have to show having to do with my grandma in this room. This was her end table. In her house, it sat right next to her easy chair. This is where the piano phone lived, and she would sit in her chair and talk on the phone to her family and friends half the day, every day. My grandma was very extroverted, and I did not inherit that from her. I'm extremely introverted, but I have a feeling that my daughter Sylvia got the extroversion gene directly from grandma. Oh my goodness. She is exhausting for me to parent, but I love her charisma and the rest of her very, very much. Anyway, this table used to be brown, dark brown wood, and the top of it was tile that was sort of similar to this. It was various sized circles, but they were ceramic and they looked straight from the 70s. They were brown and tan, and I just have distinct, just visual memories of the round tiles in the tabletop from when I was a little girl. So when I got this table, a lot of those tiles were missing and the grout was just chipping out left and right just from age. So I replaced the tiles with a more modern glass round tile set. Sorry guys, I've been talking a long time. I'm not being so eloquent anymore. And I was younger, in my early 20s, and I painted all the wood white, which I sort of regret now, but it does make the table look pretty and it fits into my home. And again, just memories of grandma. And over here, hanging up on the wall, I have my cutting mats and rulers. And moving a little higher, I have a diamond painting of kittens in a strawberry basket. And I bought the strawberry rug back over on the other end of the room to kind of tie into the strawberries here. And this is where my cross-stitch chocolate box ended up. I bought a little plate rack that is wall mounted and put the chocolates in there, and it lives right here, right underneath my wall sconce that I won't blind you with. And to sort of tie in the chocolate box to what else is going on in the room, I found these really cute prints by an artist. She goes by Trash Kitty Art on Instagram, and I love her art because it's very cutesy and kind of cheeky, and she does everything looking just very shiny. She paints lots of highlights in her art. So I got these little strawberry sandwich cookies and a banana cream pie. There was a banana peel on the head of the possum in my other beloved art piece across the room from here. Anyway, my voice box and my brain are shutting down from all the talking that I've done in this video and so many just retakes and everything I've had to do. So that is the end of my room tour, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you forgive me being my true self as I was going around the room, and I hope you come back to watch my future Flosstube videos. Happy stitching, you guys. Bye.